What's going on, H2O Army? Justin from H2O Plants, and today we're unboxing that guy. Stay tuned. So what's up, guys? I don't know if the other video will be up by the time this airs. This may air before, but I broke my CO2 regulator again. I broke a piece off of it somewhere around here. One of the threads snapped again on a different part that broke last time, or not the same part that broke last time, but a different one. And so I ordered just a backup regulator just to have in case it happens again. I ordered the replacement parts for the other one to fix it, so that way I have two working regulators just in case. So let's open this up. First, I'll give you a bubble counter. It's cool, nice little freebie. I mean, it's cheap, but it works, I'm sure. And just before we got any further into this, this is not a paid video. They didn't send me this for free. I paid for this with my own money. No discounts, nothing like that. I just ordered this off Amazon, and I will be sure to include the link in the description for the Amazon thing. So I haven't used this before, so I don't know how good it is. And they include a couple other things here, so I haven't used this before, so I don't know if it's any good. I'm going to move the box out of the way. Actually, let's read this real quick. Features: cool touch industrial solenoid design, brass construction for long-lasting durability and dependability, precision output working pressure, adjustable knob, 140 psi max, precision needle valve for fine-tuning release of CO2, includes bubble counter with integrated check valve, nice. Compatible with most high-density tubing, compatible with CO2 atomizer and diffuser, 110 and 220 volt universal power design, complete with a 6-foot power cable. All right, and same stuff on the other one, and that's about it. Okay, so that's that. Let's look at what they included in here. A nice little thank you card. They want us to review it. Well, AQUATEK. Here's your unboxing and possibly a follow-up review if it works. Next thing here. Same stuff from there. Looks like a little pamphlet here. Oh, don't really need that. And this shows the different pieces of this equipment. So that's it on that. So let's talk about the pieces here. So first thing first, you have the part that screws on to the valve to the CO2 canister. You can actually get an adapter to make this fit a smaller one. This should fit the bigger one. It includes two washers, which let me take those off here because those aren't going to be, I don't think they're needed. I should probably read to see if those are needed actually, now that I think about it, because I'm going to install this and now put them on. Alright, so how does a regulator work? So CO2 flows through this. You always want to get one with an electric solenoid that you can plug in. That will allow you to have this on a timer, which is excellent. You have your two pressure valves. One's going to show you how much pressure you have left in the container. One's going to show you the PSI on the output of this. This is your pressure control valve here. So basically, the tighter you make this, the higher the pressure on the output. Here's your output adapter, which actually I like this. This one's cool. This one's nice. It's got two stages of connecting, although I'd like my other one that I just bought, but it's not going to fit on this. So unless I could take this apart somehow, but I'm not going to mess with it. It'll work just fine. All right. So then the pressure from the CO2 flows through here, out through this. This allows you now to change the speed of it, which this is good if you're only running one CO2 tank. But all my lines to each one of my tank actually has something similar to this called a speed control valve that allows me to adjust it per tank. So, yeah, that's that. I'm gonna get this set up. I'll show you guys how you set it up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so don't mind that mess in that bowl there or in that thing, but this is the CO2 line, and right now there's no pressure on the line. So actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna disconnect this. Okay, right? So CO2 valve is closed. This is all the way open, so that way the pressure was able to run out. And I'm going to take this off now. Oh, that actually is still open. Should be closed. Why is it not? Maybe it's not. So I'm gonna twist it righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. That's the way we figure it out, but for some reason that wasn't working, so let's see. Okay. I don't understand what I was doing last night. I thought for some reason the valve was on backwards. Don't mind my lapse of judgment there. Okay, so that comes off like that. I'm just gonna stick one of these washers in here. I don't know if I really need it, but let's see and put it on there and see what happens. So this one goes on a bit differently here. Instead of facing sideways, this one faces forwards, which I actually kind of like this better. And you want to make sure when you're doing this that you tighten this all the way. Don't leave it loose. And you can actually put Teflon tape on it, but I think it'll be fine without it because it has the washer there. But you could put some sort of thread tape. Okay, so right there, you see how that turns? So that's as tight as I want it to go. I don't want to over tighten it, so I'm just gonna crank that a little bit, straighten that out. Okay, so we're good to go on that front. Right? Let's see, that is closed. I want to, before I plug that in, put the CO2 line in. I'll slide that back. So you unscrew the nut from on top of this, you put that over the tubing here. If it wants to fit. There we go. So now that's over that. You place that over the nipple there, or the connector. And then you're just gonna screw this nut onto it. Let's grab there we go. Alright, so now that's secured, that's good. We're gonna plug it in. Actually, I don't want to plug it in. Hold on. What you want to do is you want to open this first. Okay, so I got instant pressure. I'm going to turn this down a little bit here. Okay. Okay, so you see how these needles aren't sitting at the bottom anymore, so that means now there's pressure, right? So there's pressure going through here. I'm now going to plug it in, and what it does is the electric solenoid kicks on, and it instantly drained all the pressure out of here, right? Because now it's letting all the air flow, or all the CO2 flow into the tube. So now I got to tighten this back up, and you'll actually see this raising here. You see this? And operating pressure is between 30 and 40, so I'm going to leave it at just under 40, right? And this is how full my CO2 tank is on this side. So 1,000 pressure, or whatever that's measured, I guess 1,000 PSI, is how much it should be when it's full. Right now it's probably at about 800 PSI. So it's still pretty full. So this is on now. Alright, I don't see any bubbles coming out of my timer yet, so I'm going to, or out of my bubble counter. So now I'm going to open this up and let it start to flow here. That should be all the way open. I don't see any flow yet in the bubble counter, so let's go troubleshoot that and see what's going on. So normally what should happen is there should be bubbles coming out of that bubble counter, but they're not. So I'm going to troubleshoot this and bleed the line. So I'm going to open up the speed controls on each line individually. And it should bleed out. Don't see any just yet. I'm going to turn up the pressure slightly on this. There we go. Okay. So let me turn that all the way that way. So I actually turned the speed control on the regulator a little too high. Okay, so you see tons of bubbles per second right now. We need to turn that down. Right? So I'm going to now fine tune this, turn it back down to where it should be. which is still a lot. There we go. This is more than you should probably run on your tank if you have fish in it, but because I have no livestock, I can run it higher. And then I'm going to open the other one, which doesn't seem to be flowing anything, so let me... Basically, I have to bleed the lines because water will backflow into the CO2 lines, even though I have a check valve. It won't run into the regulator, but it will back up until that point, until it hits the check valve. So you gotta bleed the CO2 out here. So yeah, that's about it. The bubbles are flowing. Bubbles per second will really range depending on your tank and what you have in it and all that good stuff. So there's really no rule of thumb there. Less is more, so start off with small amounts and then work your way up to higher amounts. That's really the tip with that. I will go over CO2 distribution and dissolution and diffusion and all those other words and stuff and things in a future video, but for this video I just wanted to show you setting up the AQUATEK, you know, possibly bleeding your system there like I just did, and I'll leave the rest of the CO2 for a future video. So if you want to check out that video, be sure to subscribe, like the video as always if it helped you out, and I will do a future review of the AQUATEK regulator after I've used it for quite a long time. Of course, I don't want to make any recommendations until I've had personal experience with it. So I'll spend the money so you don't have to. And until then, guys, I will see you next time.